Hello YouTube, this is CN Maritime History, back again after a very long time. It is very good to be back to YouTube. So this is my first video topic. I've decided to move to a new format, and now instead of recording the traditional video, I'm going to use like PowerPoint presentations to film my videos. I find they're a lot easier to format instead of editing. I've had lots of troubles with that. I have tried that in the past, between now and the last video. So, let's see here. This is the MS Achille Lauro. As you can see, there are lots of details on here. There's MSC, that's one of the lines that owned her at one point in time. And then we have an advertisement for Chandris Lines Australis down here, which, of course, during its earlier life was the SS America. So therefore, now I'm going to start the video. The MS Achille Lauro was ordered in 1938 as the Willem Roy's to replace the older ships on the Dutch East Indies route. Her keel was laid down in 1939 at the Schelde shipyard in Vlissingen, Netherlands for Rotterdam Lloyd. Postponed by World War II and 2 bombing raids, she was not launched until July 1946 as the SS Willem Roy's. She was named after the grandson of the founder of Rotterdam Lloyd, who was taken hostage and murdered during the war. SS Willem Roy's was completed in late 1947. She was 192 meters in length, 25 meters in beam, had a draught of 8.9 meters, and measured 21,119 gross registered tons. 8 Sulzer engines drove 2 propellers. She could accommodate 900 passengers. She featured a very different superstructure to other liners of this period, such as Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth. She had more of a superstructure similar to the Oceanos, kind of. She featured a very different, okay, I covered that. Willem Roy's pioneered low-slung aluminum lifeboats, which as you can see are down here in this, illustration. I think this is an illustration, not a photograph. So the low-slung aluminum lifeboats are seen very often now on cruise ships. Of course, though, they are more so covered now than they would have been then. In 1964, she was sold to what now is MSC Cruises, which I know I showed you one of their logos on the title screen, and renamed the Achille Lauro after the company owner. She was rebuilt and modernized after a 1965 onboard explosion. Now, this picture, if I'm not mistaken, was taken during the later fire, one of her 3, if I'm not mistaken. This is not the explosion. Not that I know of. Looks like she's in later life. I did not check, but I'm fairly certain this was in later life. Okay. She was rebuilt and modernized in 1965 explosion. Ship entered service in 1966 carrying passengers to Sydney, Australia. She played a role in evacuating families of British servicemen deployed in the 6 Days War, arriving in Cairo, Egypt on June 1st, 1967. She was converted to a cruise ship. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to take some time here to explain to you the difference between an ocean liner and a cruise ship. Willem Roy's was an ocean liner. Achille Lauro was converted to a cruise ship. So an ocean liner is what used to be the fastest way to get from point A to point B in relative comfort and luxury. A cruise ship is a touring vessel to take you around in not a relatively fast fashion. I mean, I think their top speed is what, like 25 knots? The ocean liners of the 30s could go in 30 knots. That's not very fast. Cruise ships, they tour. Ocean liners were meant to get you one place to next. Very similar to a jet plane. They pretty much serve the exact same purpose, but you are in a much larger space than you are on say a Boeing 747. Okay. So back to the video. 1972. During that time, she suffered a catastrophic fire. A collision in if I'm not mistaken, that's the fire that's shown. A collision in 1975 with the cargo ship Youssef resulted in the cargo ship Youssef sinking. Then another fire. By the way, I could not find any more details on the Youssef sinking. I looked up like Encyclopedia Britannica to find stuff on it, but I couldn't find anything. Another fire in 1981 took her out of service for quite some time. She was laid up in Tenerife, I hope I pronounced that correctly, when the Lauro lines went bankrupt in 1982. Now, I don't know why it said this, because it said she was owned by MSC Cruises, the site that I used, which was like maritime history of, I forget what it was called, but it was definitely a legitimate site. And it said it was owned by MSC Cruises, so apparently they forgot to add that Lauro lines would rebought her, between then and there. The Chandris line, former owner of SS America. By that point in time, I don't think SS America was under their control. I think she had moved on because she had many, many, many owners. That will be one of my videos on this channel. Chandris line took possession of her in 1985, shortly before what I consider to be one of her most memorable incidents occurred. On October the 7th, 1985, 4 men representing the Palestine Liberation Front took control of the liner off Egypt as she was sailing from Alexandria to Port Said. Now, I'm pretty sure this has happened, but I have not legitimately heard any stories of an ocean liner being hijacked before. This is one. Technically speaking, she's a cruise ship, but, And they couldn't really be considered pirates either, because they were onboard passengers that decided to hijack the ship. Okay. Port Said, that's an interesting name. Holding passengers and crew hostage, they directed the vessel to sail to Tartus, Syria, and demanded the release of 15 Palestinians then in Israeli prisons. After being refused permission to dock at Tartus, the hijackers murdered a wheelchair-bound American passenger Leon Klinghoffer and threw his body overboard. After 2 days of negotiations, sorry, I couldn't pronounce that there, hijackers agreed to abandon the liner in exchange for safe conduct. They were flown towards Tunisia aboard an Egyptian commercial airliner. President Ronald Reagan ordered that the plane be intercepted. On October 10th, it was directed to land at Naval Air Station Sigonella, which was a NATO base in Sicily, where the hijackers were arrested by the Italians after a disagreement between American and Italian authorities. The other passengers were allowed to continue on to their destination. It is speculated that Abu Abbas, the leader of the group, stayed on the plane, but it is not entirely certain. They mentioned this in the website while I was writing my script. Oh yeah, speaking of scripts, I'm writing scripts now, so I don't have, so I don't lose train of thought. I may say throughout the video because I'm trying to find my place. Okay. Alright. The other passengers allowed to continue on their destination on the airliner as well as the Achille Lauro. The ship continued in service until the Lauro line was taken over by the Mediterranean Shipping Company. Again with the Lauro line, it said it was taken by the Chandris line. So I assume that Chandris line took Achille Lauro back, and that no. Chandris line had Achille Lauro, and Lauro lines wanted it back, so they took it back, and then Lauro lines went out of business. It was taken over by the Mediterranean Shipping Company. On November 30th, 1994, she caught fire off the coast of Somalia. She was abandoned, and then the ship finally sank on December 2nd, 1994. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this this nice little video. I try not to make them as long as I used to. Those were some long videos. Probably shouldn't have been as long. If you would like to go watch some of my older videos and you're just starting to watch this channel, go check out Colin Nichols. It's an old channel I have. Honestly, it isn't my favorite anymore now that I, am building this more sophisticated, better channel. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a good day. Bye.